80%. Appreciate you. I had already given him 80% everybody that knew mutually, right? So I saw this girl, didn't know her, right? She wasn't who she is now. And I said, you know what? I got to contact her. I sent her a message. She said, you know what? I have been looking at you, Austin Godsey, China Bentley, okay? China Bentley, right? Austin Godsey is a chairman 250 now. China Bentley is a chairwoman 50? One of those, she's up there. She great, right? But she said, you know what? I'm gonna join you. She worked at Taco Bell for $725, okay? Most she made in her previous companies was $200 maximum a week. No major industry experience. She became the youngest chairwoman in the company when she hit it, and to this day is one of the top enrollers in the company and has already had 3 personal signups that have been on that list as well, okay? Let's talk about what we said before. Are you really in it? She is on the top list of enrollers. Jaleesa Yancey, okay? I'm gonna say this live. Me and Jaleesa, we go back and forth. We challenge each other all the time. She is, in my opinion, the best recruiter I think I may have ever came across in my life. If we're definitely talking about women, it's not even close, right? It's not even close. I've seen her sign up 8 people in a day in her flip-flops on the couch like it's like nothing, like it's clockwork. That's why she's where she is on the leaderboard, right? But this is an example of being in it. I want everybody to follow me, right? This is an example of being in it. But it doesn't stop there. Who is next? Stevenson Lindor, right? When he joined this organization in 2017, he got on Go Live within his first 6 months. I will dare say his first 4 months. If I recall correctly, he was on very quickly. And MLTV was our old Go Live, but he was on there shortly after he got in. Why? Because he got in, got to work, got results. He is now one of the top educators in IM and has created many millionaire traders, right? He entered last year as a Platinum 150 and was chairman months later. Platinum 150, chairman around 90 days later. What are we in right now, right? What are we in right now? Freedom in what? 90 days to freedom. 100 Platinum 1000s. In 90 days, this is what he did. And to this day, I didn't put the exact number because I may be wrong, but I want to say his personal service volume right now is around 5,000, okay, for what he's personally sponsored. Stevenson Lindor now makes 10 to 15,000. Stevenson Lindor is what? He's in Miami right now, right? Because he got invited there as a chairman, because he was in it. Look, all those things that you want can happen, but you have to be in it. When I look at the success that we've had all across the board, right? In all aspects of life, it's because when I wake up every single morning, right? For those who don't even know my schedule, I won't go into it fully, but everything I do from 7 in the morning, sometimes 5, 6 in the morning to 2, 3 a.m. the next morning, right? Is me being in it in that respective area. I'll wake up 5, 6 o'clock, go to the pool. 8, 9 o'clock, I'll be at the track. 11 o'clock, I'll be in the weight room. I'll come out, I'll get on a call, right? I'll do a 3-way. I'll try to take maybe a 30, 60-second nap, right? 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll go coach. I come back home, right? I'll call Charles, we'll get on the phone. We get ready for the 9 p.m. calls, right? The 8 p.m. calls, whatever was at night. We get off, we do it again, may look at some charts, right? I go to sleep, wake up and do it all over again, right? Because I understand I be fully all in on this thing. And these individuals that I'm showing you right now, they've done the same thing, but it does not stop there. Let's drop some fire emojis in the chat for my guy, co-founder of this entire movement, right? That's my fault. That co-founder was supposed to be up there first, right? But I was moving too fast, right? So let's go ahead and drop some fire emojis in the chat, right? I'm actually gonna stop the share until we drop fire emojis. Blow it up, right? What my boy say? Sway, drop the bombs. For those who be watching the radio stations, yeah, they be blowing that thing up. All right, cool. I gotta have some effects for this next call, Charles. I'm gonna get a DJ. I'm gonna get a DJ to do some intermissions while we while we doing our presentations, right? But 10 children, right? He had the #1 spot on the leaderboard for consecutive months. We didn't even look at the leaderboard until Charles was on it. In terms of the monthly leaderboard, we looked at the overall because Jaleesa was on it, but we never paid attention to who was leading every month until Charles started doing it, right? Until Charles started doing it. Nobody in our organization was even, well, I'm assuming Jaleesa had probably been on it, but we never paid attention to it. Like we was just running head down. I honestly didn't even know it was back there in the back office until Charles said, hey, I'm like, dang, this is pretty neat. This is pretty neat, right? But over and over and over again, created a strategy which everybody on this call, for the most part, has made money using. People in South Africa, people in London, people all over the world have made thousands and retired themselves within their first 365 days. And 365 days is actually a large number, right? People done it within their first 6 months. People have done it within their first 90 months. But what did that take? Charles was doing what? He was up to 1, 2 in the morning repeatedly on these trading calls, right? Let's go outside the IBO side. On the trading side, he was fully in it because he knew what he wanted. He was a Platinum 1000, right? 90 days prior to him going chairman. Then he went chairman. He called me one day and said, yo, sign up today. Hey, that's a holiday. I might go back through the notes and try to figure out what that day was. Cause boy, it was a shift in the universe when that phone call happened. Man, if y'all only knew, hey, the movie gonna be crazy, right? But this is another example of somebody who was in it. And then last but not least, who do we have? Megan Raquel, right? Like the rest of the people, they just had so many other points. I didn't put it on there. Lost % of her organization multiple times. Had to rebuild. Y'all hear me talk about the time 700 to 800 people left my organization. All these other individuals had similar events happen. Had people leave, had leaders leave, had leaders go inactive, do this, that, and fourth. Oh, we all swore this person, that person was going chairman. Where are they now? Who knows, right? But they kept building, kept going back. They never stopped. Quitting was never an option. Had the #1 spot on the enrollment leaderboard for consecutive months after Charles started the wave. After he did it for 3 to 4 months, he passed her the torch and she did the exact same thing. The exact same thing, right? Built the business, stayed in it while being pregnant. Now, the reason why I show you this story about everybody is because it's no excuses, right? I do a lot of stuff, but Charles got 10 children, right? I know I'm pretty busy, but I think he probably got us all beat. I can't even hold you, right? I don't think it's really anybody who can say they got a shortage of time when you seeing what it is that he's doing on a consistent basis. And then I look at all these other people, right? Salute to all of them. Megan, Jaleesa, Stevenson, right? But my question is, who is going to be next? Because they see what I'm saying and they say, you know what? I'm going to be just like them. The work effort was different than a lot of people. The work ethic is different than a lot of people. A lot of people. We talk, me and Charles talk, what do we always talk about? The future. All the time. Every single day that we talk, right? Every day we're always talking about the future, right? I just told him like an hour ago, I said, yo, as soon as I get back from the Olympic trials, I want to make sure that we sit down and put stuff on paper, right? These are the conversations that we're having, right? And you want to be having these conversations as well. With whoever you're working with, whether it's your upline, crossline, whoever it is, you want to be having these conversations as well, because this is what takes you to the next level. So looking at all these people who have been in it, right? One, we got to ask, why do people not get to that level, right? And it's because of this disease right here, which is fear. It's about to get good. Make sure my throat is unparched. So the #1 disease is fear, okay? Everybody on this call, right? Matter of fact, this is a transparent moment. If you've dealt with some fear before when it comes to this business, right? Let us know in the chat. It's a safe place because everybody's dealt with it in some aspect, some way, shape, or form. If you dealt with any fear in this business, let us know. Okay. Well, when we look at really fear and how it stops people from getting in it, you got to understand this business brings you money, Okay. Money brings you freedom. Freedom brings you happiness, right? Now, money requires movement. Okay. That's why it's called currency, because it requires movement. Okay. And fear creates a lack of movement. I need everybody to follow. It creates a lack of movement. Last year, we had a pandemic. I'm not here to really speak on a pandemic, but with that pandemic brought fear. And with that fear, you had the whole world that was in a state where there was a lack of movement, right? But in that pandemic last year, we created 3 chairmen, and the money kept flowing, all because they didn't stop moving, okay? All because they didn't stop moving, all because they didn't look at what happened when they came into the year, hindered them from where it was that they wanted to go. And when we look at this 90 days of freedom, you got to say, I'm going to do the exact same thing, okay? I'm going to do the exact same thing. And when you're looking at, when you look at the state that you're in right now, you have a current temperature, right? And when you want to check the temperature, what are you checking with? Let me see who knows. What instrument do you use to check your temperature? See if we got the. Shout out to Wanda coming in first. Y'all are right. Your thermometer, right? That's what you checking, right? If you want to change the temperature in the place, you use a thermostat. If you want to check it, you use a thermometer, okay? So when we look at your current state right now, analyze where you are in this business, analyze what your habits are, analyze what your results are. One thing that is fact is a thermostat, right, is never going to be outside of the temperature that you're actually into creating. So when you're changing whatever it is in the house, that temperature, in order to change, is going to have to be outside of what it is internally. Now, granted, in the house, you can't use a thermometer. But if we're looking at your body, the same, if you want to change the temperature of what's going on in your business, that level of heat is going to have to change dramatically. Let's say you're at a 68. Let's say you're at a 60. Let's say you're at a 70, right? But you want hotter results in your business. What's going to happen to that thermostat? It's going to have to be turned up to what? 80. It's going to be turned up to what? 85. It's going to have to be turned up to 90. It's going to be turned up to 95. But the reason why people don't do that is because of that disease, which is fear. So when I keep looking at this thing called fear, when I keep looking at this, that really paralyzes every single person, then I ask, how do I change it? Okay. Well, your spirit has an appetite. Okay. And when we look at fear, it was a story where a grandchild was struggling with some things, some decisions in life. And he went to his grandfather and said, Grandpa, I don't really know what I should do. I don't really know how I should move to change these things that I'm struggling with, like the places that I want to go, but my selfishness stopping me from getting there, right? And the grandfather said, son, it's very simple. He said, look at your life and you got to realize, okay, you have 2 dogs inside of you. You got one that's going to protect you from harm, one that's going to make sure you're straight, right? But then you got another one that is there to kill you, that is there to destroy you, that is there to devour you from the inside. And the one that is going to win is the one that you feed the most. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my Lord. The one that wins is the one that you feed the most. In the Bob Proctor coaching that I'm in, one of our main segments is Magic in the Mind. And this right here is simply nothing other than what's in your, because that's where the battle is. So the fear first starts where? Before it can go to your heart, it starts in your mind, right? Before it can even get down into your soul, it starts in your mind. And the dog that's going to win is who is fed the most. So if we want to eliminate this disease, we got to feed our faith and not starve it. Every time you focus on what if this won't work, you're starving it. And you're feeding that dog, which only is here to kill and devour you from the inside. But every time me and Charles hop on a call and we're talking about what's to come, we're feeding our faith. Every time we wake up and do the act, regardless of what the outcome is looking like, we're feeding our faith, right? Every time I open up my book, and I read my goals, I'm feeding my faith. Every time I speak life, over my business, I'm feeding my faith every single time. But when you do the opposite, you starve your faith. You know, it takes the same energy to do either one. And a lot of people fail because they get caught in a state of what could happen, and they go into that low vibration when it never actually takes place. Ever. Well, what if I talk to this person and they don't join? And then you're sitting there thinking for 40, a minute, 2 hours, right? 3 hours, never go anywhere. Meanwhile, Jaleesa Yancey, she was working. Meanwhile, Charles Dyson, he was working. Meanwhile, Stevenson Lindor, they were working. Meanwhile, Megan Raquel, she was working, right? Working. It was a time Stevenson went out to Tanzania. We had a gentleman. He was actually the fastest person internationally to hit platinum 2000. Stevenson Lindor, Garrett Roberts, they went out to Tanzania, right? They said they got food poisoning. They losing weight. They was out there for about a month, right? For an organization just to come back, and that entire organization left. They got back to work. Chairman Stevenson, the chairman now, right? We know about it because we were here. People see Stevenson now and say, oh, wow, it's nice. You're making 15,000 plus a year. You're making who knows how much trading, right? But that's what happened then, but he never focused on that. So if you want to get outside of this fear, outside of what I'm just talking about, it's things that your mind is going to need. You want to write this down. Your mind's going to need, number one, a hero, right? Number two, your mind is going to need an instruction. And then number three, your mind is going to need a focus, right? When you got everything written down, let me know. If you're catching value, drop value for me in the chat. You see, these things help me change my life. Okay, so let's get into it. Your mind is going to need a hero, right? First, it needs a hero because eventually it's going to need an instruction. You're going to need to know what to do to take this thing to the next level. But when you look for instruction without a hero, it lacks one of the most important words in this industry, which is relationship. Okay? That's why you don't see people becoming billionaires off of the trading tips they got off YouTube. Because that instruction lacks a relationship. Follow me, guys. Please follow me. Okay, please follow me, because problems are going to always arise when you don't have that relationship, right? Because that relationship is going to be what actually helps you get through the problem, because the instructions are coming from the heart of the hero. I'm going to say that again. Problems are always arise when there's a lack of relationship, right? Because the instructions are going to come from the heart of the hero. Right? I'm not saying YouTube is bad by any stretch. Granted, we've listened to a lot of stuff. I watch YouTube. Granted, the people I watch on YouTube, I have a relationship with. But before then, I watched and got some tips. You understand? But you need a hero. Now, what are some characteristics of a hero? Number one, they have past results. Right? When you see me, I'm winning. They have past results. They've won. Right? They've won. Okay. Next, they're still winning. Okay. They're still winning. Don't brag about the MCA money you made in 2020. Nobody cares anymore. Okay. The person you signed up that's a guru in I Am Mastery Academy from Wake Up Now, nobody cares no more. What are you doing currently? Right? It's a bunch of people from that wave that are still winning. And that's cool. Right? That's cool. We're glad. But when we're looking at heroes, this is what they have. David Amonite, for most people, he had what? Past results? He has what today? Current results, right? And then lastly, it's the character, right? A hero has a character that you want to emulate. This is critical. They got a character that you want to emulate, right? They have a servant heart. They're servant leaders. They lead from the front. They sacrifice their time. They sacrifice their energy, right? And you want to write, I want everybody right now, not in the chat. I want y'all to take out your pen and paper, because I know you were taking notes, right? Because note takers are money makers. And I want you to write down who your hero is. Not in the chat, this is for you. Ain't nobody gonna see it but you, right? Write down who your hero is. And if you have doubt, then that means you haven't fully chosen somebody. And that's gonna hinder you for the next two parts that we're going to speak on, okay? If you have any sort of doubt on who that person is, right, then you haven't fully chosen that person. And to take this thing to the next level, you have to, because that's where the relationship's going to come, right? But after you have the hero, then you can get what? The instruction, okay? And once you get the instruction, that instruction is going to produce a focus, okay? It's going to produce a focus. You know, excuse me, it's a story in the Bible about a gentleman named Jacob, right? And Jacob was a swindler. Swindler is known for thief. And there was a story talking about when he wrestled an angel and won, and the angel said, since you have prevailed, now your name is going to be Israel, right? Now your name is going to be Israel. And Israel, if I recall correctly, means prince, okay? Now, when I look at that story, a lot of people currently, their results might be a Jacob, okay? Their results might, to the common eye, be one of lack and luster, right? Be one of struggle, right? Be one that has to overcome. Like I told you, Jacob was the thief, right? Stealing is a sin, right? Swindler, those are all sins, right? In the Bible. And your trading account may be what? May have blown the account, may have lost some trades, right? But because he prevailed in his wrestle, right? Because he prevailed in his fight, everything changed. And when you get your instruction, you got to understand it's a fight that you're still going to have. It's a fight you're still going to have. When they gave us the blueprint, it was still some learning that we had to do. And in the midst of this instruction, this is so critical, because as a mentee, you got to understand, look, this is what you're going to need to take this thing to the next level. Some people say, hey, well, I want the personal attention, right? I want more attention. Well, in order to get more attention, one of the first things you should stop and do is say, where can I serve, before focusing on what you can receive? Because everything that we're doing right now is bonus. It's an added bonus. There's been people who joined the company with nothing. Sponsor quit. They don't know who David is. They don't know who Alex is. All they know is this thing has an opportunity to make them money for their phone. They get access to I Am Academy. They become chairman and millionaires. Become chairman and millionaires without the extras. And they eventually got the extras, right? By putting in the work, right? By putting in the work. And so when I look at this word instruction, I want everybody to listen to me clearly, because this is critical. One word that we talk about, but people don't really hear too much, is honor. And let's look at the first one, hero. The honor you have for your hero is going to dictate the value you put on the instruction that's given. And if you're not honoring whoever your said hero is, you're not going to value the instruction, right? It's going to be, I know, yeah, I've heard it, right? Cool. And that just shows that it's a lack in honor, right? And that relationship is going to need to be had with some hero in order to get you to those goals that you want, right? And to take it a step further, the way that we show that value has been put on the instruction is off of the speed in which it's carried out. So let's back up, because I need y'all to I need y'all to hear me. Can we say that again? I got you. I need y'all to hear me. The way we know if you value your hero, right? If you honor your hero, is on the value you put on what they tell you to do, right? Hey, new sign up, right? Your goal is to retire your mother. Your goal is to retire your father. We need a list of 50 to 100 people, right? 9 months later, some people still don't have a list. Awesome. Cool. We just know where the honor is in terms of the hero, or a new hero may need to be found, right? But the instruction is given, okay? How do we see if that's valued? The speed in which it's carried out. People know me. I believe success loves speed. Justin said, Paris, hey, man, I got so many notes in my book from what Justin has asked me to do. He said, Paris, hey, I need you to do this, that, and the fourth, okay? Bet it's done while we there at dinner, right? 100 go. I have 100 those by the time they bring out the water. Easy, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I value the instruction that's given to me, because I honor who it is that I'm learning from, right? People wonder why they don't have success. They miss this simple step right here. It's very simple. Bob Proctor says, look, Paris, do everything I tell you to do, or find somebody else to learn from. Cool. I mean, it's simple. Because if not, he says you're wasting my time and your time, right? And once you start valuing the instruction, within that instruction is going to be a hidden focus, okay? So once it's you and your mentor, you and your hero, y'all are going back and forth. Everything's cool. You get an instruction. It's value. In that instruction is going to be a hidden focus. And as those instructions are carried out, your focus is going to be the goal that you and your leader decide upon, and they are willing to go to work for you. When I say for you, that means with you, really, not for you. It's not they work and you be at the crib and they call you, hey, girl, I balanced your 3 legs. You was a chairman now. Nah, it's not like that. But they're going to go to bat for you. They're going to get in the trenches with you. Why? Because you value the things that have been said. Some people say, hey, right? I don't hear from my upline. I don't hear from my leader. Well, one, I would suggest picking up the phone and calling them. And I would suggest not stopping doing that, right? Until a time comes, events come, and you're needed. People are calling you. I'm letting you know that, right? I'm letting you know that, right? Well, I just feel good. Okay, cool. But I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying the voices that I honor, right? The lineage that I follow, the things that I've learned that have allowed, not theoretically, but chairman numbers to show up, not just 1 year, not just 2 years, right? But 3 going on 4 years is this right here, right? Because as I work, they were willing to go with me. Like y'all know, me and Justin, we're not even in the same organization, right? But because I was acting on the instruction he gave me, I'm able to go outside, walk my dogs, get a random text message, hop on a call 30 seconds later, and Eric Thomas be there giving a private training to 20 people, right? I'm able to go to meetings and meet people I never would have met before if it wasn't for that relationship, right? And so as these instructions are getting analyzed, what's going to happen? You're going to get a focus. And once you get that focus, you can take it and run it to the moon. Listen, everybody on this call wants to accomplish great things. These last 3 steps cannot be skipped. These last 3 steps cannot be skipped. They cannot be skipped if you really want to win big in 2021. Who on this call has their tickets to the Believe Nation? Drop a 7 for me in the chat, and please don't cap, right? If you bought your tickets, please drop a 7 in the chat if you have your tickets for this call, for Believe Nation. Okay, so we got a decent amount of 7s. They come, okay. Yes, good. Why is this stuff so critical, family? Believe Nation is now sold out. We're over a month away. Believe Nation is now sold out. Okay. I post this because IM is going somewhere that no company has ever seen before. And this isn't a national convention, but there's going to come a point in time where everybody can't make the national convention. And I want you to understand what I'm saying. In London, there were 10,000 seats, right? Yes, we're going to get to 20. Yes, we're going to get to 50. Yes, we're going to get to 100,000 seats. But those who are going to be in the arena are, number one, going to be the chairman, right? So go chairman, and life is much better, right? Because you don't got to worry about none of this, right? But then those who take action on the instruction given by the company, okay? This is going to be a phenomenal event. What would I suggest to people who may not have their ticket? Be on the lookout for any tickets that are being sold for this. Make sure, have common sense. Don't be buying from somebody on Instagram that has one picture and it's of somebody that looks familiar in the business. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that right there. Like that, is that Garrett? Nah, that's not Garrett. Nah, that's not Garrett. Yeah, how much you say? 500? Okay, bet. Like, don't, please, please don't be that dude. Please don't, right? But this is sold out. Salute to everybody who is going. We got to look, this is one of many events, but your organization is going to mimic what you do. You go to events, your team's going to go to events, right? I'm going to take it a step further. You go chairman, you going to have people on your team going chairman. You go platinum 1000, stay in it. You going to have people on your team doing the same thing, but everything starts with you, right? Everything starts with you. That's why out of everything we're talking about, what must we focus on? The in it formula. You've seen everything I just talked about, but this formula is going to allow you to do everything I just talked about. Create the lifestyle of everybody that I talked about. Years ago, I wasn't getting invited to Miami for no chairman experiences, right? We weren't getting called to be with the top leaders in the company, but we did this right here. And as a result, now we're able to do it. As a result, we're able to be at events, speaking on stage. As a result, we say this all the time, go to events until events need you. As a result, when people go to these events, they see us on flyers. I believe everybody on this call is going to be on a flyer, right? When we go to the next event, I honestly don't want to talk because I would rather everybody else talk. When we went to that event and Jaleesa was talking, that was such a good feeling. And I want everybody to experience that for the people in their organization. That was a wonderful feeling. Wonderful, wonderful feeling. That was a phenomenal trip in Vegas, right? And that can be you as well. That can be you as well, but it's some things, some groundwork that's going to have to happen. Some seeds that's going to have to happen. What you want is it has to be formed in spirit. You got to keep speaking, laying that pavement, laying that road, right? That's going to take that spirit dream all the way to the physical, and everything's going to change for you. Everything's going to change for you. What we do over the next 90 is going to be phenomenal. Shout out to everybody who's been on these launch calls, launching, right? In it. We got some new people that's going to be up this week. Let's treat these calls next week like your personal launch and promote like your bank account depends on it. Like that $10,000 per month depends on it, right? How would life be if you had 30 people on each call? How would life be if you had 50 people on each call? I know that as I speak, only 10% are going to understand and apply. I know that, right? So the question is, who's going to be in that 10%? We know that when Chris Terry lays the vision, only 10% of us are going to buy into it. We know when Alex Moore and when David, right, when the chairman elites are talking, only 10% of us are going to fully grasp it and apply it. Who is going to be in that 10%? I promise you it was lovely there. I knew the sooner I can get to that 10%, the sooner my family can be taken care of. I look at those goals that you all dropped at the beginning of this call. A lot of you all have other people you are doing this for. A lot of you all have other people whose freedom is going to be attached to your magnificent obsession with being in it and taking this thing to the next level. I need you to understand. It's some people in my life that would have never been free financially if it wasn't for me. So I had to become obsessed. And I don't know if anybody has somebody like that in their life, right? Whether it's loved ones, whether it's grandparents, whether it's parents, right? Whether it's children, whatever it may be. But you got to take this thing, you got to get in it. Life is going to change. Life is going to look a lot different. I look at the last 3 to 4 years. I look at everything that's happening. I look at all this transpiring. Life is a lot different. And it's a beautiful feeling. It's going to happen for each and every single last one of you all. So that is a Believe Bigger, Faster call for today. We got my guy, Charles Dyson, who's going to come drop some bombs on you all with the Skittles. Let me make sure. Okay, the recording. Nah. All right, cool. I think whoever started has to stop it. Definitely. Who's going to come drop some fire? Charles, as always, you just seen him on his. It's been in it, not only in the building side of things. I want y'all to know how phenomenal that is, right? I'll drop some Bitcoin signals every now and again, but I'm not gonna hold you. Trading calls to 2 a.m, that's not me at all, right? They knew that from the word. That's not me. So when you find somebody who is not only providing value from a training standpoint, business-wise, but it's getting on and getting you paid trading, I need you to recognize what type of person you're around, right? Because it's going to be like, it's going to be a point in time, right? When me and Charles and whoever else, the 10% that get it, we're out in Phuket, right? We're out in Greece. We're out in Santorini. We're out in Dubai, right? Riding around. And we are thinking about everybody whose life is different, all because they didn't take their access for granted. They actually understood who they were around, right? They understood who they were, and they understood, listen, Charles will soon be $1 million per month. I think she's talking about TDO. But $1 million per month. Charles Dyson, soon to be chairman 25. With the coldest look. You might blink and see him on Go Live one day. I don't know. That's what he wants to do, right? I don't know if that's what he wants to do. But just know you had access early, right? So Charles, I appreciate you. I love you, my brother, for everything that you do, man. It's up. It's up. You already know. As soon as I'm back in town, we gonna sit down and make this thing shake. But thank you, my brother, for real, for everything you do for not only me as a friend, but everybody in this organization. Y'all, we're gonna take this thing to the next level. Charles is yours. Drop some fire emojis in the chat for my guy, Mr. Kingdom Cash, Charles Dyson. It's on you.
Man, I appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Y'all keep the fire emojis rolling for Paris, man. That training was phenomenal. Hey, Paris, you mind if I can I just, this thing right here is so good. Can you bring that back up? Do you mind if I just put a little seasoning on that real quick?
Bring up what is that?
Share your screen again on the init formula.
Oh, say less. That stayed up.
We gotta. I want y'all to understand. First of all, one of the most powerful things he said: money needs movement. I hope y'all caught that. Money needs movement. That's why it's called currency. How many of y'all are in here just because you just want to be a part of a club? I don't think nobody's here just to be part of a club. I think you joined because you want to make some money. That's what I think. I think you're here because you got some things that you're trying to, that you just have to have accomplished. If that's the case, money needs movement. And I need y'all to understand how powerful this formula is. Like, anybody influential is seen, heard, and felt. Y'all heard me say this about chairmen. Chairmen are what? Seen, heard, and felt. But I thought about it deeply this weekend. And that's true for anybody influential. Why do you know who Martin Luther King is? Because he was seen, he was heard, and he was felt. Why do you know who Malcolm X is? Because he was seen, because he was heard, because he was felt. Why do you know who Kevin Hart is? Because he's seen, because he's heard, because he's felt. It goes for everything. Do you think there's comedians that are funnier than Kevin Hart? Absolutely there are. But they're not seen. They're not heard. And they're not felt. I need you to understand that chairmans are seen, heard, and felt. And when it comes to this personal sales volume of 2,175, right? Which is 12 to 15 personal signups, that has to be an emergency for you. I need y'all to understand that the first step to knowing that your 5 reasons why is actually going to happen, the first step is that 2,175 PV. That's how you know it's really going to happen. So guess what? If I were you on the other side of this training and I heard that, those 12 to 15 would be done yesterday, like as soon as possible. Platinum 1000 has to become a burning desire. Seeing your name on that leaderboard that Paris talked about has to become a reality to you. Here's the beautiful thing about goals, y'all. You don't have to know exactly how it's going to happen the first day the goal is set. You just got to believe that you can have it. And you got to work towards it daily, constantly. And when we talk about being in it, like, oh, that temperature analogy, Paris, yo. Yo, that joke. There's a certain amount of heat that has to get turned up. Like, there has to be a switch that gets flipped in your mind where it's like, you know what? I fully comprehend what was said tonight, and I'm willing to go do it. And I won't stop until I see it. And when I see it, I'm going even harder. It's just a different mentality, y'all. I'm going to stop it right here. This is the last thing I'm going to say. If you take a brick and put it under a slow drip of water, drip, 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 drip. Do you know that slow drip of water consistently hitting that brick in the same exact spot will eventually break that brick in half? Now, what if the drip was faster? What if the drip was twice as fast? Drip, 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 drip. It would break the brick in half the amount of time. You see where I'm going with this? The goal is going to get hit, but you got to determine how fast it's going to happen. And only your work ethic, only your consistency, only your belief, only your focus, only your intensity to applying what your hero has told you to do. That's the only thing that's going to make it happen. Flawless training, Paris. Flawless. The man don't miss. He don't miss. And I just wanted to say those few tips, that little bit of information. This 2,175 volume has to become an emergency in your life. Like I said, the first step to having those 5 reasons why, to really understanding that those things that you wrote down is actually on track to happening, that 2,175, you got to get in it. You got to get in it. So, man, flawless training.